Welcome back to Teacher Professional Development at Say Mohammed Academy, Kalafo and Godi. This is week 2 of 4, covering Units 3 and 4 of the Integrated Reading Module. Unit 3 is about lesson planning. Unit 4 is about active learning and teaching methods. These two units are the most practical in the whole module. Everything in this session is something you can use in your classroom tomorrow morning. This is for all teachers, from kindergarten through grade 8, and the exam is on Monday, the 31st of August. Before we go forward, let's look back at week 1. You were given 3 application tasks, and how they went matters more than any slide we will show today. The first task was the revision questions. You began a lesson with 3 questions taken from work you taught 2 or more weeks earlier. How many pupils actually remembered? Whatever the answer, that is honest information about how memory really works. Forgetting is normal. Spaced practice is the cure. The second task was wait time. You pause for 3 to 5 full seconds after every question, and you use the bounce technique. Almost every teacher who tries this reports the same thing: more hands and better answers. Third, a quick retrieval quiz with no notes. What is the zone of proximal development? What are the 3 daily reflection questions? What are the 4 areas of development? If you struggled to recall those, that is not failure. That is exactly why we practice retrieval. Here is where we are going today. First, Unit 3, Curriculum and Lesson Planning. We move from the curriculum down to today's lesson, then look at SMART objectives, Bloom's ladder of thinking, and the 7 parts of a complete lesson plan. Then a short activity in pairs where you will fix weak objectives and turn them into strong ones. After that, Unit 4, Active Learning. Why it works, the methods toolbox, how to make group work succeed, and how to build teaching aids from local materials. Finally, your tasks for this week: 1 full lesson plan, think, pair, share, use twice, and 1 teaching aid made together with your pupils. Unit 3, Curriculum and Lesson Planning. Let us begin with an honest question. Who among us plans every lesson in writing? There is no judgment here. Many strong teachers carry the plan in their head, and many of us plan only when an inspector is expected. But here is the heart of this unit. Planning is not about the teacher's knowledge. It is about the pupil's learning. A teacher in Kalafo who teaches grade 5 put it this way: with a full plan, I finish earlier, because no time is lost deciding what to do next. Planning does not cost you time. It buys you time. Section 3.1. Think of teaching as a journey with 4 levels. The curriculum is the destination country. It is the official plan of everything pupils should learn across all subjects and all grades. The syllabus is the map of one region. It takes one subject, for one grade, for 1 year, and lists its topics. The scheme of work is your route for the month. This is the teacher's own week-by-week plan for the term. And the lesson plan is today's stretch of road, the written plan for a single lesson. So why plan at all? Because a written plan decides in advance 3 things: what pupils will actually do, how their learning will be checked, and how the minutes will be spent. Without a plan, lessons drift. They drift towards the teacher talking and the pupils copying, because that is the easiest thing to do when you have not decided anything else. A written plan also protects continuity. If you are absent, a colleague can pick up your class and continue. These 4 terms and their order are exam material: curriculum, syllabus, scheme of work, lesson plan. Section 3.2. Objectives. An objective must describe what pupils will do, not what you will teach. Here is a weak objective: to teach pupils about fractions. Look at it carefully. It is about the teacher, and it cannot be checked. When the lesson ends, how would you know whether it happened? Now is strong one. By the end of the lesson, pupils will be able to shade and name halves and quarters of a shape. That is about the pupils, and you can check every single pupil against it. This is the test of a good objective. Ask yourself, could I check whether each pupil achieved this? If the answer is no, the objective needs rewriting. SMART is the checklist: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. And here is the practical warning: avoid the words know, understand, and appreciate in your written objectives. They are not wrong as goals, but they are invisible. You cannot see understanding. Replace them with the visible action that would prove understanding. Explain, tell, label, compare, know, list. Still in Section 3.2. Bloom's taxonomy, a ladder of thinking. Read it from the bottom upward. At the bottom, remember: state, list, name, recall. For example, name the part of a plant. Above that, understand, explain, describe, summarize. Explain in your own words why we boil water. Then apply, solve, use, calculate. Calculate the perimeter of 3 real objects in this room. Then analyze, compare, classify, find causes, compare town and rural livelihoods and give 2 causes for the difference. Then evaluate, judge, justify, recommend. Judge which water source is safest and justify your choice. And at the top, create, design, compose, construct. Compose a 4-line poem using this week's vocabulary. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Weak teaching stays at the bottom of this ladder. Strong teaching climbs, and it can climb even in grade 1. So ask yourself honestly, what proportion of the questions you asked yesterday were remember questions? Here is the challenge for this week. Plan at least 1 question from Analyze or above in every lesson. The 6 levels, in order, are exam material. Section 3.3. The 7 parts of a complete lesson plan. What? The heading, subject, grade, date, topic, time available, and materials needed. The objectives. 1 to 3 SMART objectives, describing what pupils will be able to do. 3. Introduction, 5 to 10 minutes. Capture attention, revise what pupils already know, and state the objective aloud so pupils know where the lesson is going. 4. Presentation, 10 to 15 minutes. This is where you deliver new content. Explain, demonstrate, give examples. Keep it short. This is the part that swells and eats the whole lesson if you let it. Guided practice, 10 to 15 minutes. Pupils try the new skill with support in pairs or groups while you move around the room and check. Independent practice, 5 to 10 minutes. Each pupil now works alone so that learning becomes visible, pupil by pupil. Assessment and closure, about 5 minutes. An exit ticket, a summary, and a link forward to the next lesson. Notice the shape of parts 4, 5, and 6. That is the gradual release of responsibility, and it is scaffolding in action, exactly as we discussed in Unit 1. One more thing to plan for: differences between pupils. Prepare extra challenge for fast finishers and a simpler supported version for those who struggle. The 7 parts in order are exam material, and they appear as a short answer question. Let us make that concrete with a worked example. Grade 3 Mathematics, 40 minutes. The heading reads, Multiplication as repeated addition. Materials, bottle tops and slates. The objective, pupils will be able to write and solve 3 times 4 as repeated addition using objects. Introduction, 5 minutes. A story. 3 children each bring 4 mangoes. How many mangoes altogether? Pupils guess before anything is taught. Presentation, 10 minutes. The teacher models 3 groups of 4 bottle tops, then writes 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12, and beside it, 3 times 4 equals 12. Guided practice, 12 minutes. In pairs, pupils build 4 times 2, 3 times 3, and 2 times 6 with the tops, while the teacher circulates and checks. Independent practice, 8 minutes. Each pupil solves 3 problems alone on the slate. Assessment, 5 minutes. An exit ticket. Pupils show 4 times 3 on their slates altogether, and the teacher notes who made errors. Notice how every single part serves that one objective, and notice how the exit ticket checks it pupil by pupil, not just for the class as a whole. Notice also the connections back to Unit 1. The introduction activates prior knowledge. The guided practice works inside the zone of proximal development, and the exit ticket is formative assessment, which is coming in Unit 6. Now an activity, 10 minutes, in pairs. Your task is to turn each weak objective into a SMART objective for a grade that you actually teach. Remember the recipe: a pupil action verb plus specific content plus the phrase by the end of the lesson. Objective 1, to teach pupils about the water cycle. Objective 2, pupils will know the letters of the alphabet. Objective 3, to cover Chapter 4 on nutrition. Objective 4, pupils will appreciate the importance of hygiene. Take about 6 minutes to write, then swap your work with another pair and apply the test. Could you check whether each pupil achieved it? There is one common trap. Many teachers replace the word no with another word that is just as unmeasurable. Watch for that when you swap. Unit 4, Active Learning and Teaching Methods. The principle is simple, and it is worth memorizing. Pupils learn what they think about and do, not merely what they hear. There is a saying in our own tradition, Akun lani wa iftiin laon. Without knowledge, there is no light. But let us add something to it. Knowledge does not enter a sleeping mind. Now, to be clear, direct teaching is still valuable. Explaining well is a real skill, and we need it. The problem is only when talking is all that happens for 40 minutes. So here is the rule for every lesson from today onward. No pupil should be able to hide. Section 4.1. The Golden Rule. Picture a lecture and copy lesson in a class of 60. 3 pupils are thinking, and 57 are waiting. Active learning means every pupil regularly thinks, answers, discusses, solves, writes, or explains. Here are 6 techniques that make hiding impossible, and every one of them works in a class of 70 with no materials except slates. Slates up together. All pupils write the answer and raise their slates at the same moment, so you see the whole class in one glance. Thumbs votes. Pupils vote agree or disagree on a statement. Instant whole class thinking. Plural response. The whole class answers together. This is excellent for the younger grades. Kind cold calling. Choose pupils by name, supportively and without shaming. Volunteers are not the only ones who are thinking. Pair talk first. 30 seconds with a partner before anyone answers publicly. This alone transforms participation. And everyone writes 1-sentence answers in their books before any discussion begins. Ask yourself which of these 6 you already use, and choose one more to add this week. Section 4.2. The Methods Toolbox. Here are the first 5 tools. What? Direct instruction and demonstration. Explain and show step by step. This is best for genuinely new content. Keep it short and follow it immediately with practice. The questioning and discussion. Open questions, wait time, probing, and bouncing answers from pupil to pupil, as we covered in Unit 2. This teaches reasoning, and it teaches respectful disagreement. 3. Pair work and think, pair share. This is the large class's best friend. Think for 1 minute, pair for 2 minutes, then share. Every pupil in the room thinks and speaks within 5 minutes. 4. Group work, in groups of 4 to 6. And here is the crucial condition. Group work only succeeds with structure. That means a clear task, a time limit, assign roles, and a visible product at the end. The roles are leader, recorder, reporter, and timekeeper. Without roles, one pupil works and the rest watch. 5. Role play and drama. Market exchanges, giving health advice, historical scenes. This fits our strong Somali oral tradition very naturally. Always hold a discussion afterwards, so the learning is named. One thing to hold on to. No single method is the best method. The professional owns a toolbox and chooses by objective, age, and class size. The toolbox continued. Tools 6 to 9. Storytelling. This is the natural doorway for kindergarten and the lower grades. Use Somali stories, proverbs, and poetry, and pause at the right moment to ask, what happens next? 7. Games and songs. Number bingo, letter hunts, team quizzes, times table chants. This is joyful repetition, and repetition is how fluency is built. But one condition, the game must practice the objective. A game that is merely fun has cost you a lesson. Demonstration, experiments, and inquiry. The sequence is question, predict, try, observe, conclude. You need no laboratory for this. Bottles, charcoal, sand, and seeds are enough. 9. Projects and field visits. A hygiene poster, a class garden, a visit to the river or the market with observation questions prepared in advance. This is where school meets life, and pupils remember these lessons for years. Section 4.3. Choosing the right tool for the job. If your objective is to introduce new knowledge or a new skill, choose direct instruction and demonstration. For the young grades, storytelling. If your objective is to deepen understanding and reasoning, choose open questioning, discussion, think, pair, share, and inquiry. If your objective is to build fluency in number facts, spelling, or times tables, choose games, songs, and chants, short daily practice, and pair quizzing. If your objective is to build speaking confidence and language, choose pair work, role play, retelling stories, and presentations. If your objective is to apply learning to real life, choose projects, field visits, and group problem solving. And if you teach kindergarten learners, aged 4 to 6, choose play, songs, stories, movement, real objects, and short varied activities. One last word on noise. There is a difference between the noise of working and disorder. Listen to what pupils are actually saying. If the talk is about the task, that is not a discipline problem. Structured talk is learning. Section 4.4. Building a rich classroom from local materials. For counters and place value, bottle tops, stones, and seeds. Sticks bundled in tens for place value. For cards and word walls, letter cards, number cards, and flash cards cut from old cartons. For shapes and measures, shapes made from wire or folded paper, marked string for measuring, and containers for capacity. For science, bottles, sand, and charcoal together make a working water filter. Seeds and soil for growth experiments. For maps and posters, draw them large on cement sacks. In the class shop, empty packets and paper money give you endless arithmetic practice with real motivation. 2 rules go with all of this. First, involve pupils in making the aids. The making itself teaches, and it costs you nothing. Second, treat your blackboard as your best teaching aid. Divide it into sections, write large, and keep the keywords up on the board for the whole lesson. Now a case from our own context. Godi, grade 4, 64 pupils. This teacher said, plainly, that group work was impossible in her classroom. Her fears will sound familiar. My room is too crowded to move benches. They will just make noise. One pupil will work and the others will watch. I will lose control of the class. These are reasonable fears, and they are not excuses. So here is what she actually did. She started with pairs only. Think pair share, twice per lesson, with no furniture moved at all. After 2 weeks, she moved to groups of 4, made by turning 2 benches, and only once a week. She wrote the roles on the board and required 1 shared slate as the group's product. The result, in her own words, was the noise of working, and pupils who had been silent all year now explain answers to their partners. The lesson here is, start small. Pairs first, groups later, and structure, meaning roles, a product, and a time limit, is what separates group work from chaos. Quick retrieval practice. Cover the right-hand column and test yourself. Scheme of work. That is the teacher's week-by-week plan for the term. SMART, objective, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. LUMS 6 levels. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Gradual release. I do, we do, you do. Exit ticket. An end of lesson task showing whether each pupil met the objective. Think pair share. Think silently, discuss with a partner, then share with the class. Group roles. Leader, recorder, reporter, timekeeper. Teaching aid. Any object or visual that helps pupils grasp an idea, and often locally made. Play this both directions in your study group. Term to meaning, and meaning back to term. All of these terms appear in the exam's matching and multiple choice sections. Your plan for the week before next Sunday. Read days 1 to 3, Unit 3. Days 4 to 6, Unit 4. Day 7, review and study group. 45 to 60 minutes daily. Answer. Complete all the self-check questions for Units 3 and 4 in writing before you look back at the text. Writing first, checking second. That is retrieval practice. Apply. Task 1. Write 1 full lesson plan with all 7 parts. Teach it. Then write 3 lines of reflection. Did pupils meet the objective? How do I know? What will I change next time? Apply. Task 2. Use Think Pair Share at least twice this week and make 1 teaching aid from local materials together with your pupils. Myth. Study group on day 7. Compare your lesson plans, quiz each other on the key terms, and share how the aid making went. Next Sunday opens with lesson plans on the table, so please bring yours. And note this, half of the case study marks in the exam reward exactly this kind of applied planning. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this. Plan what pupils will do, then make every pupil do it. An objective is about pupils and you must be able to check it. Every complete lesson follows the same shape. I do, we do, you do, and then check with an exit ticket. Choose your methods from the toolbox according to the objective, the age of the pupils, and the size of the class. Start small with pairs and structure your group work with roles and a product. Next Sunday, the 23rd of August, we cover Units 5 and 6, Classroom Management and Assessment. You are now halfway through the module with 2 weeks until the exam. Nad Sened. Thank you.